Good morning. Today is Wednesday. It is the 27th of Adar. And we begin today chapter 39 in the Tanya. So as you remember yesterday, we spoke about the souls of man and the souls of animals. Didn't mean literally the animals, but we meant that there's different types of ways, different ways that people can connect. Some of them he calls it the soul of man, and the souls of animals. And we said the difference is between man and animal. The man, human, is able to create his own world. Animal just follows, adapts to the situation. And a man is able to develop feelings based on their own understanding. If you read something, you read in the newspaper about something happened in Ukraine, you read in the paper about something happening elsewhere, you develop a feeling of pity or generosity, all types of feelings you develop based on your understanding. You're able to control and create your own situation. An animal, on the other hand, just follows its instincts, its innate instincts. So the Alter Rebbe said that the same thing we have among us humans. We have people who serve God in a way that of souls of men, and others that meaning that they develop their relationship with God, the love, the fear of God is based on their own deep understanding and appreciation of godliness. But then you have others that don't have that ability. Not everybody is capable really of developing love or fear of the great, awesome God, because our minds are limited. So, nevertheless, says the Alter Rebbe, they also have the ability to develop and reveal their innate, instinctive love and fear of Hashem. Just like an animal has instincts, natural instincts, God implanted in us, in every single Jew. This is something we received from our ancestors, Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, that deep, innate love to Hashem, which may be sometimes concealed. It's called ahava mesoteret, a hidden love, a love that is hidden in you. But with thinking about it, sometimes it comes out without thinking. Sometimes when a person comes pushed to a corner, like they say, there's no atheist in a foxhole. And when push comes to shove, all of a sudden that connection with Hashem comes out. Yesterday I heard a story. We're talking about the bris. It was back in the days in Russia when you could not have a bris done to your child, but somehow on the ground there was still moils came on the ground quietly, and there was one Jewish lady that called the moil and said to the moil, she want to have the bris, and quietly, secretly they came and they made a bris. And right after the bris, the mother says to the moil, "I want to kiss my baby now." The mother says, "Wait a second, let me bandage the baby." Said, no, I want to kiss him right now. And she kisses the baby, and she fainted. And they revived her. Said, "What happened?" And she said, "When I had my boy, I promised myself I'm not going to kiss the baby until he has a bris. And that's why I wanted to kiss him right away." So it is the innate love sometimes that you feel that the inner love that there is in every Jew. Some people it's more revealed, some people less. But here's the thing. So we compare, we say we have animalistic love to Hashem, meaning the souls of animal. But isn't this a little bit degrading, comparing us to animals. So here comes the Alter Rebbe in the chapter 39, and he's telling us that it's not at all degrading. In fact, the angels are also compared. It says in the prayer, we say, Malachim, the angels, Chayot HaKodesh, the holy animals. And he's going to explain, because usually there really is no reason for the Alter Rebbe here in this book of Tanya to explain, go into details about what is angels. It's not a book about angels, it's about a book about us, Jews, humans, how to serve Hashem, how to serve God. Why mention about angels? So the Alter Rebbe is saying this because to tell us that don't worry about the fact that you don't have the ability to develop great intellectual love to Hashem, love that is based on an intellectual understanding. If you only have an instinctive hidden love, don't worry. You're at least like the angels. The angels also are called like that. They're also instinctive. They're also called animals because of that same reason. So, and then the Alter Rebbe is going to go into deeper details in explaining the differences between the angels, various angels, and also the different levels in people. Some people are tzaddikim, those who have the ability of developing their love based on the intellectual understanding. They are much higher than the angels. And he will explain the different levels based on the different spiritual worlds and where each angel, where the angels belong, which world do they belong to. So we're going to explain it as we go along in today's lesson of Tanya, as we begin chapter 39. 1 second. Where are we? Right here. Okay.
Are we supposed to have that book?
In chapter 39,
I don't have that.
It says, מפני זה גם כן נקראים המלאכים בשם חיות ובהמות. For this reason too, the angels are called chayot, beasts, and behemot, animals. Kedichtiv, we find in the prophet Yechezkel, it says, upnei aryeh el hayamin, v'gomer upnei shor me'asmo. He says, as it is written, an angel with the face of a lion to the right. The right represents the chesed, the kindness, and the right of the divine chariot, and the face of an ox on the left. The left represents the gevura, the strictness, the strength. Why are the angels referred to as animals, as beasts? Says the Alter Rebbe, because the angels, they have no freedom of choice. Just like an animal. An animal doesn't have free choice. It follows its instincts. So those angels, and some would say there is more than one level of angels, but these angels they have this natural love and fear of Hashem. They are compared to animals. It says, and their fear and love of God is natural to them, as it is written in the Zohar, the portion of Pinchas. So here says the Alter Rebbe, you should know, those tzaddikim, those righteous people that serve God with an intellectual love, a love that is developed based on their understanding, they're much greater than the angels. Velochein says, Malas tzaddikim gedola mehem, therefore tzaddikim are on a higher level than them, and the angels, ki moder nishmes tzaddikim ba'olam habriya, u'moder hamalachim ba'olam hayetzirah. He says, because the abode of the souls of tzaddikim is in the world of Beriah, the world of creation, whereas the abode of the angels is in the world of Yetzirah, the world of formation. So just to give a little bit of background, what does it mean, the world of creation, the world of formation. So we explained many times that we have 4 general spiritual worlds. The world of Atzilut. Atzilut is world of emanation, where godliness is completely revealed. There is the world of Beria, world of creation, where there is less of godliness revealed. World of formation is even less. The world of Asiya, the 4th world, is world of action. Now here is the thing. Now each world has also 10 attributes. The 10 attributes are divided generally into 2, but more particularly into 4. What are the 2? And generally, the 2 is you have the intellectual attributes and you have the emotional attributes, just like by a human being. You have the intellect and you have the emotions. The intellect bring the emotions, because whatever you understand, you create a parallel emotion. And in more particularly, they're divided into 4. What are the 4? The intellect is divided to 2. You have the chachma, the wisdom. Wisdom is the origin of the intellect. Just like when you have you brainstorm and all of a sudden you have a flash, a light, an idea, something comes to your mind. That flash, that is called the chachma, the wisdom. This is something which everything else is gone. You just have that flash. Then you develop it. That's called bina, dat. You develop the idea. This is the 2 of the intellectual. Then you have the 2 of the emotionals. The emotionals, you have the 6 main emotional attributes. And then the last one is malchut. Malchut means kingdom. The kingdom is like the bridge to the next world. This is the world of action. You take the emotions and you lead it into action. So this is what you have. Now, these 4 spiritual worlds are also divided into these 4 levels. The first world of Atzilus is more the world of Chachma. The idea of Chachma is mainly in the world of Atzilus, because Chachma again is like nothing else exists. He just receives from above. He receives something from above. The flash that comes, the brightness, the light. Then you have the world of Beria, is called the world of understanding. World of Yetzirah is world of emotion. World of Asiya is the world of action. So continues Alter Rebbe and says, we'll continue inside. So that these tzaddikim, the righteous people, their neshama comes from the world of Beria, the world of understanding. And the angels are more in the world of emotions, because the angels are more, they have their innate love. It's like, that's why they're connected more with the emotions. But in the note, Alter Rebbe says that that's not all the angels. Some angels are really connected also. There's some angels also have the intellectual understanding in godliness, which is higher than the regular angels. That's what the Alter Rebbe says here in the note. This is so only in the case of ordinary angels. There are, however, higher angels in the world of Beria, whose service of God is with intelligent fear and love. And I mean love and fear that is based on intelligence. It is written so in Raya Me'imna, that's the part of the Zohar, that there are 2 kinds of holy chayas. Chayas is animals, the holy animals they call them. The 2 kinds, tivim vesichlim. They have the instinctive and intelligent, meaning those who love and fear are instinctive, and those who create love and fear intellectually. As is also written in Eitz Chaim. Now the difference between these 2 worlds, Beria and Yetzirah, the world of logic and the world of emotions. In Yetzirah, the world of Yetzirah, only the midos of the blessed Ein Sof radiate. Midos means the emotions, the attributes, emotional attributes. Only the spheres of chesed, kindness, gevurah, severity, etc., meaning the love of him corresponding to chesed, the dread and fear of him corresponding to gevurah, and so on. So this is in the world of Yetzirah, the world of emotions. The attributes of emotions of God, of fear of God and love of God shines in this world. As it is written in Tikkunei Zohar and Etzchaim that 6 sephiros, the 6 midos from Chesed through Yesod, they nest in the world of Yetzirah. So continues the Alter Rebbe and says, "V'lochein zois hi avodas hamalachim tamid yomim v'layla lo yishkeitu lamed b'iro v'facha." Therefore, this is the service of the angels. What do the angels do day and night? Whose abode is in Yetzirah, the world of emotions, is constantly, never ceasing day or night to stand in fear and dread of God. That's what angels do constantly. They have godly revelation, so they feel it, the presence of God, to whatever level they are able to feel. But more particularly, says the Alter Rebbe, this refers to the entire host of angels under Gabriel. Gabriel is the angel that comes from the left, which is on the left. The left represents their fear and gevurah. The service of the host of angels under Michael. On the other hand, this is the love of God, and so on. They are on the right side. So this is in the world of Yetzirah, the third world of emotions. But when we're talking about the higher world, there we have, it shines the intellect, the wisdom of Hashem. But in the world of Beria, they radiate the Chachma, Bina, and Das of the Blessed Ein Sof. This is the 3 intellectual attributes, the upper 3 spheres of Chabad of Atzilus, which are the source of Midas and their mother and root. The Bina, the understanding, is called the mother of the emotions, because a mother gives birth. A mother takes, the father is called a chachma. It's like the drop that comes from the father. It takes the tiny flesh, and the mother takes it and develops it. And what is created? The emotions. As it is written in Tikkunei Zohar, that Ima literally means the supernal mother, which means the Sephira of Bina describes as mother of the world of Atzilus, nests and radiates in the throne, meaning in the world of Beria, with 3 Sephiras, of the Chachma, Bina, and Das. That is why the world of Beria, the world of the intellect, this is the abode of the souls of the tzaddikim. Which kind of tzaddikim? So he says, those tzaddikim who serve God with a love and fear that comes of the intellectual love and fear, comes as a result of their understanding. It is therefore the abode of the souls of tzaddikim who serve God with a fear and love that stem from understanding and knowledge of God's greatness. This love being called Re'usa Delibe, meaning the heart's desire, that a desire is created by intellect as opposed to a desire that transcends intellect, as mentioned above. So this kind of love of these tzaddikim, their neshama is in this world of Beria, the second world. Umiru'usa deliba nasa levush laneshama ba'olam habriya shu gan eden ha'elyon kadel hakamon k'ma shekosav v'zeh vayakal. From this re'usa deliba, the heart's desire, A garment is formed for the soul in the world of Beria, which is the higher Garden of Eden. We know the Gan Eden, we have the higher Gan Eden, we have the lower Gan Eden. This, the world of Beria, that is the higher Gan Eden. The higher Gan Eden is in the world of Beria because the higher Gan Eden, the whole idea of Gan Eden is about enjoying the presence of God. And there's obviously many different levels of how one enjoys, how the neshama enjoys and appreciates the closeness of God. In the world of Bria, it is a higher level of godly revelation. That is why it's called the Gan Eden Elyon, the higher Gan Eden. As will be discussed further, and as it is written in the Zohar Parshas Vayakel. Now, the lower level of Gan Eden is Yetzirah. The lower level of Gan Eden is Yetzirah, the world of emotions. So now the Alter Rebbe says, when we say that the tzaddikim there, those who serve Hashem intellectually, that using their intellect and understanding and reaching the level of understanding and feeling of emotional love and fear of Hashem, they are in the world of Beria. That's what we said, right? Which is a very, very high world. Now, the Alter Rebbe goes on now to differentiate and say, every soul has different parts. We have generally, we have 5 parts of the neshama, 5 different levels of the soul. It's called the nefesh, ruach, neshama. Then you have chaya, yechida, which is much higher. We're not talking about that. Generally, we're talking about the 3 lower levels. Nefesh, ruach, neshama. What is the nefesh, ruach, neshama? So, roughly a rough explanation. Nefesh is the part of the soul that is more connected with our action. The ruach is the part of the soul that is connected with our emotions, and the neshama is the part of the neshama that is connected with our intellect, with our understanding. So it says, what part of the soul of the tzaddik reaches that level of the higher Gan Eden, level of Beria? This is the level of the neshama, the higher of the 3. The level of the ruach, however, is connected with the lower level of the Gan Eden, the world of Yetzirah, the world of emotions. Let's say he continues inside. So that's what he says, Achainu dafke neshamas mamash. However, this statement that the abode of tzaddikim who serve God with intellectual love and fear is in the world of Beria applies only to those souls which are actually on the level of neshama. The level of neshama being that of intellect, as the verse states, the divine neshama will give them discernment.
So why?
And which represents a superior intellect, a superior intellectual perception of the blessed Ein Sof. But the tzaddikim who are at the level of ruach, and v'chein she'ar kol neshamas Yisrael, she'avdus Hashem b'nechilu rechima mesatoris b'leiv klolos Yisrael. But the level of those tzaddikim that are level of the ruach, the more the emotional part, and so too are the levels and so too, it said that the levels of those tzaddikim, those neshamas, the souls that are of the rest of the people, the rest of the Jewish people, that they serve Hashem. Most of the Jewish people serve Hashem with love, with chilu yechima mesutaris b'lev klolos Yisrael. Says that they have the fear, they serve God with the fear and love that is hidden in the heart of all of Israel. Says the Rebbe, ein oiles l'sham rak b'Shabbos v'Rosh Chodesh levad. Says the rest of the neshamas, they do not go up to the level of the higher Gan Eden, the level of Beria, except on Shabbos and Rosh Chodesh. So they ascend there to Bria only on Shabbos and the new moon, when all creation ascend to a higher level, as it is written, every month on the new moon and every Shabbat and every week on the Shabbos, all flesh will come to prostrate themselves before me, says God. It is only then that these souls ascend to the world of Berea, the higher garden of Eden, the higher level of Gan Eden. How do they go to? So it says it brings us another interesting concept, that it says there is a pillar that brings a person from the lower Gan Eden to the higher Gan Eden. It says derech ha'amud shemigan Eden natachton legan Eden ha'elyon sho'elu b'briya nikra Gan Eden ha'elyon. This is by means of the pillar that extends from the lower level of Garden of Eden, Yetzirah, to the higher level, the higher Garden of Eden, the world of Berea, which is called the higher Garden of Eden. So what does it mean? What does that pillar mean? In general, this is a whole topic for itself to explain. In general, the idea that a pillar is something that a person needs to go up to a higher level. You need to remove the previous level. And just like where sometimes you come into a new lecture and a new professor tells you, I'm going to teach you something, but I want you to forget everything you know about this topic. I want to begin with a brand new page. Forget about everything with, I mean, the Talmud tells us about one tzaddik, Rab Zeira, that he was in Babylon. He was learning the Talmud in the way they learned in Babylon, and he came into Jerusalem. So he was fasting for 40 days to forget everything, the whole method of learning that he learned before, in order to come and to receive something new. And not to forget the learning, you're not supposed to forget the learning, but to forget the method. And the same thing here is sometimes we need to remove, we're excited about worldly things. Sometimes we come to a higher level, we have to forget about all the types of excitement that we are familiar with and get to a whole new level. This is the coming from the lower level of Gan Eden to the higher level of Gan Eden. You completely forget about everything. That's why also people go to the mikveh before Shabbat. We're talking about men. We go to mikveh before Shabbat to go into the complete, remove yourself from the previous mundane world to enter to a new world, something which is totally above everything what you were used to until now. Continues the Alter Rebbe and says, by means of this pillar, these souls ascend there too, to the delight in God and to bask in the radiance of the Shekhinah. And he explains, Ki eina no v'tainug l'seichel nivra elo b'ma shemaskenu meivim yedei masig v'sichle b'naseh. Because the intellect of a created being delight and derives pleasure only in that which is conceived, understand, knows, corresponding to Chachma Bina and Das, and grasps with its intellect and understanding. As much as it can grasp of the blessed Ein Sof light through his wisdom and his understanding, which radiates there in the Bria. Continues the Alter Rebbe and says, now the Alter Rebbe asks a question. We say that on Shabbos and the holidays, the souls of the regular, ordinary Jew that serves God like with instinctive love, yet on Shabbos and Rosh Chodesh, they're able to ascend to the world, which is the world of wisdom and understanding. Something that the regular angels cannot do. So the Alter Rebbe is asking, how come the neshamas are able to reach the higher levels that the angels are not able? And we're talking about those neshamas, those souls, will serve Hashem only with the natural, with the instinctive love. So Alter Rebbe explains that is because they have something that the angels don't, and that is the fight. They have to fight the Yetzer Hara. They have to fight the inclinations in order to do the right thing. Angels don't have that challenge. So because they have a challenge, they overcome the challenge. That is why they're able to reach the higher levels. That's what Alter Rebbe continues here. These souls who serve God with natural love and fear are privileged to rise occasionally to Bria higher than the angels, although they serve God only with the natural fear and love. The reason is, because through their fear and love, the sitra acha clothed in their body is subdued. Whether in the case of fear, in the realm of turning away from evil, conquering and crushing their desires, or whether doing good as mentioned above. These souls, while in the physical world, they had freedom of choice. They might have chosen evil, God forbid. Yet they chose good. Yet they chose good to subdue the sitra acha, so that God's glory be elevated in all worlds, similar to the superiority of the light emerging from the darkness, as mentioned above. Now the Alter Rebbe clarifies and says that this is what we're saying about the levels where the neshamas are. This we're talking about the soul itself. The soul of these tzaddikim are in this level, the souls of other tzaddikim are in the other level. But what about the Torah that they study? The Torah that we study with the love and fear of Hashem, that goes up much, much higher. That's what Alter Rebbe is saying here. All the aforementioned concerns the abode and station of the souls. The Torah and the divine service, however, are actually absorbed in the 10 sephiros. What is the 10 sephiros? The 10 attributes, which are a manifestation of godliness. And with which the Ein Sof light unites in perfect unity. Specifically, this means that once Torah and divine service ascend to the 10 sephiros of Beria, when generated by intellectual fear and love, and to the 10 spheres of Yetzirah when performed by natural fear and love. Now, in these 10 spheres, now within them, within the spheres of Bria and Yetzirah, they are clothed the 10 spheres of the world of emanation, the highest world, the world of Atzilus, and they are completely unified with them. Now, the 10 spheres of Atzilus are in turn perfectly united with their emanator, the blessed Ein Sof, with the blessed Ein Sof of Hashem. The souls, on the other hand, in contrast with the Torah and divine service, they are not absorbed in the godliness of the 10 sephiros. They stand instead in the chambers and abode of the Beria and Yetzirah. There, the souls delight in the radiance of the Shekhinah, meaning the blessed Ein Sof light, as it is unified with the 10 spheres of Bria or Yetzirah, and this radiance that they enjoy is actually the ray and the light of their own Torah and divine service. It says, in Zohar Vayakel, Daf Resh Yud, in the Zohar Pashas Vayakel, page 210, explains that this is why what we studied right now in this world, that is exactly what our souls benefit. Because the reward of a mitzvah is the mitzvah itself. So this is the end of the long shir today, which explains, number one, we should not get offended when we're called animals, because the angels are also called the animals. Talks about the animalistic, instinctive love and fear that we have to Hashem. And Alter Rebbe says, don't worry the fact that you have only this. You're just like the angels, and you're even greater than the angels. Because even the ordinary neshama can rise up higher to the higher worlds, and that is because we have the challenges and we overcome those challenges. And that is, therefore, we're able to reach those levels. And what is the thing? What is the godliness that we enjoy? Is the very Torah and the very mitzvahs that we do in this world. What we study in this world, this goes up to the higher worlds, and that is the light itself. What we study to the Torah that we enjoy when we reach those levels. Thank you for joining. B'ez Hashem will continue tomorrow.